Welcome everyone to Techy Tuesday. We're going to get started in a moment. So welcome to those who are attending live on Zoom, and also welcome to those that are attending on Facebook Live. We can see people are attending, which is great. If you wanted to add into the chat bot that you're here, the law firm or mediation practice that you work at, and any questions that you have, that would be great. You can either do that by going into the Zoom chat box or online on Facebook Live adding a comment. So over to you, Chanel. Chanel's our Business Development Manager, if you haven't had the pleasure of meeting her. And she'll do a brief introduction and then we'll get into the Techy Tuesday webinar. Thanks, Chanel.
Hey, sure. Hey, everyone. I'm sure you all know me by now. If you don't know me, give me a call. Let's have a chat about family property after this. And we can go from there. So today we have Fiona and Tim. Tim's going to be doing the main presentation. So I'm gonna give it to him. I'm going to leave it in his hands. But it's really exciting. We're going to give you a sneak peek into the parenting product, which is really, really exciting. And we're going to give you the opportunity to ask any questions. Guys, if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear from you. So yeah, just give us a shout out in the chat, and then we can go from there. So over to you, Tim.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chanel. This platform, Techy Tuesday, we've done for a while now. It's really been an opportunity for me, just to really do a quick introduction of myself. I'm the CTO with FamilyProperty, just to kind of deep dive into features and help you get the most out of using a platform like FamilyProperty from a tech point of view. But we've been hard at work. I almost call it version 3.0 really, in building a whole lot of great features into family property, which we thought we would take an opportunity to preview today. And you'll probably hear a lot more about these as we go over the next coming weeks. As you can probably see there on the screen, what we want to do is give you a preview of a lot of the parenting features that are coming. But as well as that, we also want to show you how that works with the intake, the questionnaire. And we've added a whole lot of extra information that you can use with your clients, the kind of information you can collect that goes far beyond just parenting. So we're really excited to show you that today. I've got up there on the screen really, with this release that we're looking at doing, what we're doing with family property is actually unifying the whole thing into one single tool that you can use to manage any of your family property or parenting matters. They're no longer kind of broken up into different products. It is just one tool that takes you from intake all the way through to disclosure and beyond. And so you'll see how that kind of works today as we also introduce a few of the new features as well. Fiona, do you want to talk through a few of those things?
Yes, so today the focus will be on introducing the new intake questionnaire and the parenting product, which the innovative part is that it goes from parenting calendar straight into automated parenting plans and parenting orders. There's three main parts that we're going to feature today. One is the new questionnaire. We've got 5 new tabs about the current situation, where the parties are at, if there's any court orders or proceedings, family violence and capacity and parenting. So we're going to showcase that, answer any questions you have. Secondly, Tim's built a very quite technically difficult feature of the flexibility to move between the questionnaire and the dashboard and back again, with all that information being auto-saved. And lastly, that new parenting calendar to parenting orders technology, and we'll be showcasing that and again answering any questions you have. This is a preview webinar. We're hoping to launch over the weekend these new features, and this webinar is really designed to give a preview for our subscribers, our family property subscribers, and those who are new and wanting to come on board with family Property to give you a real sneak preview on these particular features. So please feel free to add in to the chat any questions as we go. And Chanel's going to be adding some written comments on Zoom, and Beth, our client relationship manager, she'll be adding comments on Facebook Live. So over to you, Tim.
Fantastic. So let's dive into it. As Fiona just said, this is a bit of a tech preview, so hopefully everything goes to plan, but we'll see how we go. So what I just want to start here is I've opened up Family Property and I've clicked on the button Create a Matter, and this is the screen that you see here. If you've used Family Property, you're probably very familiar with this screen where you can set up a matter where you're either a lawyer or a mediator working with one party or both. But what we wanted to focus in on today is these new options that you'll find towards the bottom. Previously in Family Property, we supported property matters, financial matters. Now you've got the opportunity to set a matter up where it's a property only matter, a parenting only matter, or a parenting and property matter, which I'm going to select here. You can also optionally include the new questions around the current situation, so your client's current situation, and you can also include access to the client portal, which is a great screen which will help you and your clients work through disclosure. You can still invite your client to access and complete the questionnaire, of course. You tick this box here. And now you'll see when you come down the bottom, really how comprehensive it is. We've got all of these existing sections around general questionnaire, property questionnaire. So these are these steps that we have existed before around your asset pool and contributions and future needs. But you'll see here that you can also tailor the experience now a lot further than that around current situation questions, parenting questions, and things like that. So by ticking or unticking these boxes, you can actually build up a tailored, unique questionnaire experience for each and every one of your clients using the full gamut of questions from property, parenting, or both.
So a few frequently asked questions about this Create a Matter screen. One is our hope with this comprehensive intake questionnaire is that you can use it for all of your family law matters. When you create a family law matter, you're also creating a family property matter. Secondly, a question is often, can you start with property and then move on to parenting instead of creating it all at the one time? Yes, you can. It gives you that flexibility. Start with property, move on to parenting, or start with parenting, move on to property, or vice versa. Secondly, when inviting the clients, as you can see here, if you tick just parenting, it will auto-populate parts of the questionnaire only, being the general section, current situation, and parenting. But then you can still tick or untick the other boxes. And lastly, this Create a Matter screen can be commenced using Family Property within the portal, but you can also embed it on your website, embed it in a chatbot, or send it as a link to a client to complete. So really giving you a lot of flexibility on how you do family property intakes, family property and family parenting intakes. If you've got any other questions, feel free to add them into the chat, and we'll come to that at the end of the webinar.
Great. So let's dive into the questionnaire now. So this is a matter that I created just before jumping online. This is, I've set it up to be a parenting and property matter, so you can see it all in action. If you're familiar with Family Property, you're probably quite familiar with the menu being down the left-hand side. We've added a whole lot more questions. So what we've done is to help with that navigation, we've just broken it up into different categories. You've got general questions, which is things like personal details, relationship, when they began living together, when they separated, children at a really high level, living arrangements, and then jumping into the property specific questions now. So these are things like assets and super, as an example, what is owed, or liabilities. And these are existing sections, just to also highlight that it also continues to include things like contributions. Just for people who are familiar with Family Property, one thing that we have added is the ability now to document the other sides or the other parties' contributions through the questionnaire. We know you've been asking for that for a while, and then future needs. So that's all the property sections. As I said, we've had that in Family Property for a while, but what's new is the current situation and parenting. So it's 5 new sections that I'm going to have a look at now. So the current situation here, Fiona, do you want to quickly talk through what we're looking at here?
So where you're at is really understanding where the clients are at in the process. Have they had legal advice, mediation, couple counselling, other professional assistance? And what are they looking to achieve? How are they referred to your service, etc.?
So that's that section there. The next one is proceedings and orders. Again, Fiona, just a quick introduction to the kinds of questions that you'll find in here.
So this is a tab to get information about the current court cases, current orders, previous court cases, previous orders, as well as bankruptcy, proceeds of crime, etc. Really important to understand where they're at with any court proceedings or agreements that are in place.
Yep. Family violence is the third step in the current situation. You can see here that we actually opened this particular section with an introduction as to, you know, I guess what the concepts are. We try and break this down into just really to understand language, but we have put a big, heavy focus on providing helplines and links to supporting material, and also people that and helplines that people can reach out to as well, because we do appreciate this is obviously a really super sensitive, kind of aspect and area. Fiona, do you want to just talk through the kind of questions you might find in here?
So as Tim said, we do provide those helplines. We actually tailor those helplines for your state and territory. It's not a replacement for you to give tailored support referrals for your clients, but it does provide some assistance and brochures, etc. on family violence. In this tab, it does ask some questions around family violence orders. It asks you to upload the essential documents like a family violence order. It also asks about the concerns that the other party may have, whether you're comfortable being in the one room, etc.
So the fourth section in the current situation is questions around how you and your ex or your client's ex-partner are coping. Again, Fiona, do you want to talk through what you see here?
So a lot of these questions in family violence and how you're coping come from the new Notice of Child Abuse, Family Violence or Risk form. This section deals specifically with drug, alcohol or substance misuse, mental health issues and other issues. It's really important as a family law practitioner to be aware of these issues that your client may have or the other party may have. And again, these questions are tailored to yes, no or unknown, to get some basic information to provide details around that. And again, the helplines if necessary.
Yep. And two things I want to stress about this is the first of all, as you saw in that setup screen, you can choose to use or omit these particular steps. So if you don't want your client to answer, have to answer these questions in an online form, you don't need to include them. By the same token, if you do, you can include them. And the second thing is here, as you'll see, all of these forms start blank, which means it makes no assumptions as to your client's position on any of these issues, and your clients can leave these blank. They do not have to answer any of these questions. So I just really want to stress that we do take this really quite seriously, to be adaptable and flexible. And if your clients don't feel comfortable answering this kind of information, they can leave it out and still submit the questionnaire.
One of the questions we do get is, how did we come up with these questions? It's been a rather long process over almost a year. We've really taken feedback from you as our subscribers to include the heavily requested questions. We've also reviewed relevant court forms such as that Notice of Child Abuse, Family Violence or Risk, with the aim that in the future we might populate those forms. We've reviewed similar questionnaires and tested the questions with people going through separation, and myself as an accredited specialist in family law and FDRP, together with Professor Patrick Parkinson, who had the original idea for Family Property, came up with the original questions, and I've really worked together to provide feedback and finalise these questions. So we've tried to really get it right, but of course we're open to feedback. Tim, parenting?
Parenting. So parenting arrangements is again, its own section. And how this works is, as you can see, we've got James Miller here. You can add as many children as need be, but let's open up James. So with the information that you can capture on the children are, of course, essential information like name, gender, date of birth, which relationship, and the relationship that you or your client has with the child. And there's questions around their current living arrangements. So where are they currently living? Is it with one parent or the other, or majority time or equal time? And you can provide some description around that. There's information around their schooling. Have they started school? At what school level? Then there's questions around that. Are there any medical issues or special needs or diagnosed behavioural issues? And again, all of these are blank. You can answer them or leave them blank if you need to and provide more details. And then finally, moving into periods and arrangements. So what school holidays are applicable? What other special occasions like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, or any other religious or special occasions? And you can document them there. And then finally, a few questions around, has the child expressed any views around the parenting arrangements? Is there any concerns around their safety? Is there any child protection reports or any other notes or comments? So this is really about helping you document the information around each of the children and what the current living arrangements look like.
Thank you, Tim. And remember, the language here, it speaks to whoever's completing it. So does Alex have any concerns? Or if Alex was completing it, do you have any concerns about child safety? And again, as we said, quite tailored on what you can and can't or do and don't ask your client.
So, of course, you can take as much time as you need to finish the questionnaire. You can log back over many sessions, as can your client, and complete this information. Just to let you know that we have updated the questionnaire report, this one right here. This will include all of the information captured in those new sections.
Sorry, Tim.
Dashboard export. Hi,
we just have a question from Lena. She's just asking, what time estimate would you give clients to set aside to complete these forms?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it depends on how many of those sections that you'd like to include. So with the financial only, we've typically said around about the 20 minutes to half an hour. Of course, if your situation is a bit more complex, you might want to recommend a little bit more than that. As we haven't launched this, we're still looking at that kind of feedback, but I'd probably take that 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe. What's that?
About 5-10 minutes more.
5-10 minutes
the
more.
questions are fairly straightforward. So it's a yes or no smart form, and that's the benefit of smart form. So only if it's yes will further questions be asked.
Yep. And just to let you know, there is a new current situation tab now. This is where you can access all of that information in our dashboard screen here. So you can click in and you can review how all of those questions were answered through your professional's dashboard screen here.
So the benefit of unlocking the matter from questionnaire to dashboard is really all of this information is available, displayed at a click of a button, all on the one screen. You can update that information. You can download the information into a questionnaire report. And in that questionnaire report, it has everything you need to get started in your family law matter. This is a template, this questionnaire report. So this template you can amend, or some lawyers, for example, I know are adding a bit of an action plan on steps to take in at the initial conference. So again, template, you can update those. All of these benefits of upgrading into the dashboard.
Fantastic. So feel free to keep putting in any questions that you have, and we'll try and answer them on the fly as we go. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a taste of the complete and comprehensive intake questionnaire and how that information flows through. And you can convert that into robust Word documents at a click of a button. What we're going to do now is we're going to go across, we're going to dive into the parenting features a little bit further and show you how that works. So I'm actually going to move across into, give you a bit of a sneak peek now. If you, again, Family Property subscriber, you might look at this and say, oh, oh, that's a bit different. So this is what's going to be rolling out in hopefully a week, is the ability to move seamlessly between the questionnaire into the dashboard, into the client disclosure portal, and all the way back again. And the information is going to seamlessly flow from one to the other. So up until now, the process has been you finish the questionnaire, you click submit, and then that information goes into your balance sheet and dashboard, and you can't go back. Now, moving forward, in about a week from now, you'll be able to seamlessly use the questionnaire and dashboard and disclosure portal and move backwards and forwards, and all of the information is just going to flow through from one to the other. It sounds simple, but there has been a lot of hard work behind that. It's really bringing family property together into one single unified tool for the entire life cycle of the matter, which is really what the end goal is that we're trying to get to. So,
yeah, that seems a bit like a no-brainer, but I know it's been quite technically difficult. This has been quite a heavily requested feature, and really the benefit of that is you can start the client off in the questionnaire, move to dashboard, go back into the questionnaire, and all the information is automatically updated. And it really simplifies the process of family law.
Yep, absolutely.
We have a few questions, Tim. We have one from Melissa. She's asking, if you embed a link on your website, can you pick which tabs to include, exclude, and like, for example, who are you going, if you prefer to ask this in person?
Yeah. So you will be able to define the questionnaire experience that people clicking on the link on your website will have. So if you just want it to be really simple, you can do that. Of course, remember as well that if somebody does start the questionnaire via the link on your website, you can go back and add extra boxes. So you can start with maybe 3 or 4 simple sections from somebody coming through from your website, and then build on that, and then ask them to provide details on assets, contributions, future needs, maybe those kind of screening style questions by going back into the matter settings and ticking those boxes.
Okay.
Reach out if there is a question in regards to that. And Chanel, we might leave the other 2 questions in the Q&A until after we go through the parenting.
Sure. Sounds good.
So let's dive into the parenting. So there's a new parenting tab here. And we've got 2 children here, as you can see. Of course, this information has just come straight through from the questionnaire. And if I click in here on Maria, you'll see all of the information that was captured moments ago from the intake questionnaire. So that's all there. So I'm not going to go through this again. It's the same information that was filled in on the questionnaire. What I want to dive into is the parenting arrangements tab. So this is a professional tool. So this is designed for you to be able to start building up robust parenting arrangements that you can then convert into parenting plans and parenting orders. So basically you can configure how the arrangements are going to work, whether you want to use school term-based calendars or not. If that's, if the children are not yet at school, you might want to say no to that. And where do they go to school is another really important question. What we've done is we've actually gone and built up comprehensive full calendars of dates, 365 days a year for the next 3 years, factoring in school holidays and school terms across Australia. So this is important. If I select New South Wales, what it's going to do is it's going to come pre-built with all of the school terms and school holidays for the next 3 years based on public schooling. Now I can edit these. So for instance, if the children go to private schools or have some kind of other arrangement, you can tweak what their schooling arrangements, schooling periods look like. But from there, you then start to build out the kind of parenting plan or parenting orders that you want to put together. You can define what the changeovers look like, which parent is going to pick up from what location, and at the conclusion, which parent is going to collect the children, just by selecting the options there. Under general schedule, so this is your normal weeks or your school terms for school kids. You can select arrangements like alternating weeks or alternating weekends, or even specific periods where you can really build up any kind of parenting arrangement that you'd like. It might be they have the children every Wednesday nights and every second weekend, for instance. You can do that in a specific period section there. And you define things like, if I've selected alternate weekends, which party has the alternate weekends, and then what that weekend looks like. So in this case, the weekend for this family starts on a Friday at 3 p.m. and finishes on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. But this is completely configurable. Of course, it also works on a fortnightly calendar calendar. So which weekend in that fortnight does this fall on? So that's general schedule. Then school holidays. Again, you pick the kind of arrangement that fits for school holidays. Is it no changes? Do you want to share half the period, alternating weeks, weekends, or some other period? And again, it's just a matter of just choosing the options, clicking on the buttons, and building up that arrangement there for your school holiday period. You can do things like alternating year on year. For instance, I'll have first year, you'll have second year, and so on and so forth. You can do all of that there. Christmas holiday, normally around 6 weeks long. Parents like to have separate arrangements for that. You can do that too for Christmas. And then finally, you've got all these special periods here. So these are things like Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, and then all of the other birthdays in the family, mum, dad, any other special or important people, and all the other siblings as well. And how these work, let's have a quick look at Christmas. You give it a name, you give it a start date and an end date, and then you select what kind of arrangement. It might be exclusive, you might want to share half the period, whether it happens each year or whether it's a special occasion, and again, who's going to have the children. And all of these special periods work the same way. You define what the period is, whether it's recurring, and what kind of arrangements you want. If one of these isn't applicable for a particular family, just remove it. That's fine. And if you want to add any other special periods, you can do that too. So this way you can cater for all different kinds of scenarios in the parenting arrangements. We are only pre-populating basic special periods, Easter, Christmas, birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day. But again, you can really build this up however you would like with your clients. And then finally, we've got some special arrangements here. So these are things like, passports and financials and things like that you might want to tailor. But all this information then.
So just this smart form. I'll go on to the calendar, Tim. That's okay.
Okay. So now, as you can see, what I've did there is I put in that during school time, it's Alexander's having every second weekend, and Sophia's got, is the primary carer. And what it does is it then plots this over a calendar. I can fast forward month by month, see how this is going to map out on every single day of the year for the next 3 years. I can see who's going to have the kids overnight, what time changeovers are happening. It's all mapped here. For instance, if we go to December, here we go. Alexander's going to start off with the first half of the Christmas holidays, but then there's going to be a suspension of that so Sophia can have the kids on Christmas and so on. And so you can really quickly and easily dive in here. You can make changes to changeovers, to handovers, to, from fortnightly to week on, week off, and it will automatically map that out on the calendar so you can reality test that instantly with your clients in how that actually looks. You can print this out if you want to give them a snapshot of May 2021. You can, to a PDF, you can do that. And you can also have a look at what it looks like fortnightly as well as monthly.
So it's a really visual tool for your clients. Like in the property matters, we have that innovative interactive balance sheet to property orders tech. This parenting calendar to parenting plan parenting orders really enables you not just to have the wording, but to have that visual prompt with the school terms, school holidays, special occasions, even the changeover times mapped out on a printable calendar.
Yeah. So at the moment, you just print month by month. So you select which months you want to print if you want that. We're still, we have had feature requests around getting this onto people's mobile phones and generating big, huge printouts that people can put on walls. We'd love your feedback on that. The challenge at the moment that we're just working through is we don't necessarily want the tech tool to be the source of truth of who exactly is going to have the children on what day for the next 3 years, because, things happen, people renegotiate and have conversations and work things out together. And if we don't particularly want, the entire next 3 years set in stone at the moment on the calendar you see on the screen. But we would love your feedback on that. You can definitely print month by month. So, of course, the next step from here is once you've got some robust arrangements together, you then want to probably convert them into some documentation. So we've got a whole range here of them. We've got parenting parenting plan documents, which can be generated. So let's have a look here really quickly. It is a detailed document. So we can see here, let's get down to the good parts. Right, current living arrangements. So they're going to live with Sophia, except where they're going to take reasonable steps to spend time with Alexander on every turn at weekend. Then the holiday periods, we're going to suspend normal time so that they can have half on and then switch over with the parent, with the other parent. Special occasions, there's Christmas, there's changeovers, and there's a whole lot more of template information there. So look, without going into details, if you want to see some more, of course, book in some time with Chanel. She'd love to take you through this in more detail. But we've also got parenting orders and consent orders. Do you want to maybe, Fiona, just talk through that?
Yeah, so parenting consent orders, we've got a short smart form if you want to just generate that, Tim. With these parenting documents, we've taken sort of the 80-20 rule at this stage in the first release. We've taken feedback again from our awesome subscribers on what they would include generally in a parenting plan and parenting template. And we've also reviewed some standard parenting orders and parenting plans, including the Attorney General's parenting orders and the Western Australian Family Court Precedent parenting orders. And again, Patrick Parkinson and myself have really spent time getting that feedback and finalising the parenting plan parenting orders. At the moment, we have added sort of standard clauses around communication, education, health, travel, passports, conduct of parents, parental responsibility, etc., with a view that you can add additional clauses or delete clauses as you choose. We're keen to get feedback on this as to amending the template yourself in the settings. But at this stage, as you can see, what happens is the magic is what's in the smart form populates into the calendar, and then at a click of a button, say in parenting orders, go straight to parenting orders there, you can see that in the general arrangements, I'll just bring that up, general living arrangements, the holiday periods, the special occasions, all are automatically populated with the relevant dates and arrangements that have been agreed upon.
Yep, fantastic. So if you're not familiar with family property, it's pretty much the same approach that we've taken to our balance sheets, where you build up and model an agreement or a proposal or an offer on the screen using the interactive balance sheet and these sliders, and then one-click conversion into a range of documents such as balance sheets, proposals, even populating this information in the court forms.
There is a question here around, can I have a training matter? For those who are family property subscribers, you should definitely have a free matter where you can test this technology, etc. If you can't locate that, etc., please feel free to reach out to us. Chanel's available to do demos one-on-one for those who want a refresher on this parenting tab. Both Chanel and our trainer Samantha Eads do that work around refresher training and normal training for family property subscribers. And if you're new and interested in family property, we'd love you to be part of our family property subscribers. And Chanel's here available. Chanel, did you want to just outline what you do in a demo? And I'll bring up the Techy Tuesday last slide as well.
Sure. So the demo is usually all done online. First we have a chat, maybe a coffee. No, everyone needs a coffee. No, but then we go into an in-depth look at the product and what it does. It usually takes about 35 to 40 minutes, quite quick. So I do like to, because I do understand that you guys are completely busy. But yeah, at the moment is now a really, really good time to book in a demo. We do have an exclusive sale which ends this week. So if you are interested, please get back to me. I cannot extend the sale, unfortunately, past that date. So if you're interested, just give me a call or email me, and we can go from there.
Excellent. And just a couple of things. So book a demo or a refresher session, just contact Chanel. Chanel will put her details in the chat there and we'll email you as well. If you're a Family Property subscriber, a few things for you. We do have more client spotlight series coming out. We'd love to promote your firm, your mediation practice, what you're doing. We love our subscribers and we want to promote your business as well as ours. With referral program, we've introduced a new referral program. Some people have already taken advantage of that. Refer a friend and you get a $50 e-gift card and 3 free matters. And lastly, we've been building out a help forum and YouTube channel, and that the videos like this video, as well as help tips, etc., is available in that forum. And of course, we're available to provide support at support@familyproperty.com.au, or give us a call. So thank you so much for today, for participating, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Take care of yourselves.